Mythwind, this is your review for 2. Good day, my name is Joe. Today we'll be going over Mythwind and how it plays with 2 players. Now Mythwind is a 1 to 4 player cooperative game where you will be building this town together as a group, managing some resources to build new buildings, managing your character board to advance your character, get new skills, all while learning about the town, the sprites, the people through these events, the stories, and the adventures. So let's see a little bit more how to play. So Mythwind is kind of unique when it comes to the gameplay. Everybody's going to start with their own little personal book that they're going to have. That's going to tell you a little bit about your character. In the base game, there's 4 characters. There's the merchant, I believe there's the ranger, the farmer, and the crafter. So each one of those is going to have their own special book. And it's going to go throughout a course of a day, what it would take for you. You know, at the beginning, you're going to get, a day for your weather. That'll determine some of the events for the day. You're going to do some town actions, which are kind of in the book. And then you're going to go into the interesting, kind of the asymmetrical part of the game. We're going to focus on your own player board and how you can advance to gain more money, to help things in town, and kind of do your own thing for a little bit and then reconvene and start the next day. So in this game, there was going to be events that you pick up, and those may be dictated by the weather. There's going to be a certain overall goal that you're trying to do for the season. Make sure you're doing that. You can go on adventures. And as you grow the town, you're going to have more town actions to do. There's going to be a dawn phase with the weather, a town action, usually a day phase, and then part of your phase where you may do your own special thing. Now, it's kind of interesting that the asymmetrical part, the farmer is kind of a polynomio type. The crafter is an upgrade your components, kind of refine your components from one to the next. The ranger is, well, you may not go to town because you may be on an expedition getting stuff and resources for yourself to bring back and sell to the town. And then the merchant, try to buy low, sell high on the certain goods, determining on the certain kind of seasons and how you can manipulate some of the markets to maximize your profits. So there's really no end to this game, but there is kind of you want to beat the season goal, which is about 9 to 10 weather cards. So you're going to have 9 to 10 days within a season, and then go through the seasons as you go through events, adventures, explore the town, explore the game, and hopefully by the end of the season, you've accomplished your goal and move on to the next. There's no winner or loser. There's no end to the game. You just progress through the game. So let's see a little bit more what I thought about the game. So the components in this game, man, I really do like these components. I like the asymmetrical player boards. They all do play different, but what's nice about it is they're very easily storable. There's so many compartments that you just store all the components that character needs. The merchant can put all their stuff under here. There's just so many. They did such a good job with the layout of this box and the components of this box that you can easily put up this game and get it back to the table. Now the rules really weren't that bad. It kind of told you a generic how to go through the game and the rules, but really not too bad. But it does get a little bit complicated when you start adding the player rules. So some of the players, the farmer, the ranger, the crafter, maybe on a little bit easier side, and it says the merchant's a little bit on the harder side. So if you are playing with a lot of people and it's their first time, these are great references, but there is a lot in this book. I think this book's about 40 pages long. Now you don't need all the information in this book, but it tells you how to set up for that specific player. In this specific case, it's the merchant, and you'll have different books for the different players. So each one of these probably averages about 20 to 30, with the merchant being a little bit longer. So the references are good, but there is quite a bit kind of on the front end to make sure you understand the flow. So let's talk about setup and table size. I won't touch on this too long because I already did. The setup in this game is great. yes, it's kind of sprawling, as you can kind of see, but everything fits in just a square when you pack up these little components for the individual characters, and the board states are very easy to keep in track. Just very, for a large game like this is the best kind of setup I can ask for in a game. Table size, this will take you a little bit of table if you want to spread out, and here's a picture of how it is on our table. So now let's go into the gameplay, and let me just preface this by saying this is a very cozy game. There's no rushing to do things. You may, I'm so used to in board games feeling like I have pressure to do this. I have to do this. I need to be doing this because I only have so many turns. In this, I have 10 turns and we collectively would like to accomplish a goal. And that's about it. What are you going to do for the year? Would you like to develop some of your skills? Would you like to just amass money and help the town with their resources? Do you want to build a building with some of these resources? That's the cooperation. The cooperation here is is needed to manage some of the resources, and it's just a cozy game. There's no rush to play. And it's just a nice pacing to the game. Now, some of those who may not like, having a goal every time, like I said, at least they give you a season goal, but this isn't a timed game. You will eventually go through the story, and there's a lot of event cards in this game with some branching various effects, and there's a lot of adventures you can go on to. And once again, a nice cozy game. Then you get into the asymmetrical part, and that's where it kind of breaks down a little bit, where the game has great pacing, and that you'll, every day you'll do your town action, or your weather, your town action, maybe an event, and then you'll go into your individual player boards. And that's a little bit of the disconnect for me, because at the first part of the game, there needs to be a lot of cooperation. Only one person can go to each one of these spots. And you kind of have to talk and determine what you're going to do. And then you go into the asymmetrical part, and everybody kind of looks directly down at their board, follows their instructions on whatever character they're playing. And it does kind of break the immersion a little bit, where this is the fun part of the game, but it has very little player interaction with anybody else. So you really have to know what kind of the game that you like to play with the character. Like I said, the farmer's a polynomio, where you'll be putting different crops, watering crops, getting some equipment. The crafter, you're refining the goods, a little bit more on the easier side. I didn't enjoy the crafter as much. The ranger, which is kind of neat, you're going on these adventures. And then the merchant, you're all about making that money. So during that part of every day, you're really focused on your player board. And I will say, for me, it missed the mark a little bit, where I wish, bringing back the goods from the ranger, I could sell it in the market, but everybody is separate. Everybody's asymmetrical board is a little bit different and isolated from the others. So a nice gameplay flow. I really like, having just the season goal, no time frame. For me, I do usually like a time frame, but it's just a nice, relaxing, cozy game. So let's get down to it. How does this game play for two? And I really like this game for two. It's just really streamlined, nice. You're fighting over a couple spots sometimes. You're deciding, with your partner what building we want to work towards. We want to make sure the events, and we can hit that seasonal goal that we're trying to make. Trying to determine, how much money I can contribute versus how many dice. And I didn't even touch on, the actual mechanics of each player. But grabbing these sprite and helper dice lets you do more actions during your personal phase. And it's just nice to kind of move forward like that. It's nice to be able to talk to each other. But then you get into the asymmetrical part, and it's heads down, where some of my asymmetrical pieces may take a minute, where, my counterpart, my partner will take maybe 3 minutes, and I have to ask, well, what are you doing over there? Or, are you done? Because it's so separated. So, like I said, for 2, I really like this game. I just wish it came with a little bit player interaction in that phase. The farmer could have made crops for the merchant. The crafter could have made parts for, the ranger's goods, or could have made equipment for the farmer. To me, it was like, this game is almost perfect cozy game. It could have been such a layered, ooh, we need this to make this, and the cooperation really could have been there. But instead, it barely missed, because it's so focused. And so I know I keep harping on it, but as you play the game, you'll kind of see that there's a lot of cooperation, and then there's all of a sudden it's do your own thing. So I won't ramble about it too long, but I really like this game. We've had a great time with Mythwind. The event and the story are just long enough and short enough. They're actually the perfect length of, you read this, you get a good laugh, or you say, ooh, we need to do this, or think about this. There are decisions in the game. The adventures are fun to go on, just for, a little break in what's going on throughout the town. Use your people and your sprite dice to help on with your actions, making sure that the weather may match the current season, keeping track of the goal, trying to make money, build the buildings. There's so much good in this game. My only one negative starts to get in the heads down asymmetrical area, which is a lot of fun, but I just wish there was some cooperation. So with 2 players, we have loved this game. It's a lot of fun, but I couldn't quite get it, one of the highest awards, I could, which I don't really give out awards, but couldn't give it the highest, 5 out of 5 stars, just because during that part just felt a little separated. So we really enjoyed Mythwind, but there are, just a couple things holding it back from being great. So hope you guys enjoyed the review, and until next time.